On June 26, 2003, David Stern stepped to a podium at the theater at Madison Square Garden and made an announcement that would forever change the fabric of NBA history.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
And for nearly 20 years since that fateful day, LeBron James has been delivering a non-stop assault on the NBA, from ushering in the era of the super team and destroying the competitive balance of the sport, to elevating the flopping game to unparalleled heights, while begging officials to bail him out in series after heart-pounding playoff series. Perhaps the biggest staple of this all-time great's legendary career has been his ability to come up the smallest when the lights were at their brightest. And as is so often the case with most immortals, we are left almost in sheer disbelief, wondering if what we just saw really even happened. But following his most recent and predictable high-profile choke job in the Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets, it was this time LeBron's turn to step to a podium and wonder if after 20 years of delighting us with his hilarious failures, this might have been it.
I had a lot to think about, to be honest, and just for me personally, going forward with the game of basketball, I got a lot to think about.
The end of the ride, his final show, the last choke. LeBron certainly has been prolific and dazzling with his abilities to crumble in big moments, and it started at a very early age and stage of his NBA career, when in the 2006-2007 season, LeBron, in just his fourth NBA season, would make his first of 10 NBA Finals appearances, and he would not disappoint. Many pundits in the mass media and his fan base often give him a pass for this loss because of his relative age and supporting cast, but many downplay how close this series actually was. The Cavs' defense was fantastic that season and postseason, and it held the Spurs to just 86 points per game on 44% shooting from the field throughout the series. And two of these games were a one-possession margin. Yet the Cavaliers would ultimately be swept in this series behind the young king, averaging just 22 points per game in the four-game sweep on 35% shooting. But 2 years later, in the 2008-2009 season, LeBron would be named MVP of the league for the first time in his career, while leading the Cleveland Cavaliers to the best record in the NBA, a gaudy 66-16 record. They steamrolled through the first two rounds of the NBA playoffs, sweeping the Detroit Pistons and the Atlanta Hawks. A high-profile showdown between the actual best player in the NBA at that time, Kobe Bryant, and the media's king, LeBron James, seemed to be all but imminent. The only thing standing in MVP LeBron's path was an Orlando Magic team led by 23-year-old Dwight Howard. Of course, we all know how that ended up, with Kobe Bryant winning his fourth title after beating the Orlando Magic 4-1 in those finals. But LeBron would return next year in the 2009-2010 season, looking for vengeance, and he would defend his regular season MVP award, again leading the Cleveland Cavaliers to the best record in the NBA. And after a gentleman's sweep of the Bulls in the first round, he would come up against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and the Cavs found themselves in a dogfight, tied 2-2 in that series and facing a pivotal swing Game 5 at home when LeBron straight up quit in this game, playing 41 minutes and scoring just 15 points on 3 of 14 shooting as the Cavs got absolutely dismantled on their home court, pushing them to the brink of elimination in Game 6. And of course, we all know how that one ended too, with Kobe Bryant winning his 5th title after beating the Celtics in 7. But this series broke LeBron James, and in turn, he would go on to break the NBA. A then back-to-back league MVP, being falsely touted by many as the best player in the NBA, would decide to get on his hands and knees and crawl his ass to Dwayne Wade's team.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Two top 5 players in the sport joining forces in their prime in a weakened conference, who then recruited Chris Bosh. Bosh, at the time, of course, had played 7 years in Toronto and made 6 All-Star appearances over that time and had a career average of 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. That team was so unfairly stacked, so unbeatable. A then ringless King felt so confident he would proclaim that he and the Heat would win not just a championship, but
not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
What would ensue the following year in the 2011 NBA Finals was a tour de force of choking. LeBron's magnum opus choke job, his grand masterpiece. The Heat rolled through the Eastern Conference with a 12-3 record and had a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals against a severely undermanned Dallas Mavericks team with only one All-Star, looking to take a stranglehold in the finals and move just one step away from capturing his first NBA title. LeBron took a hot, steamy dump in his pants, playing 45 minutes and scoring just 8 points on 3 for 11 shooting, including 0 points in the fourth quarter of a game that was 82-81 with 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. From on the doorstep of taking a decisive 3-1 series lead to not winning another game the rest of the way, the Heat would go on to lose that series 4-2, and LeBron was the 3rd leading scorer on his own team and 5th leading scorer in the series. A reigning back-to-back 2-time league MVP in his 8th season got outscored and outshot by 33-year-old Jason Terry in this series. As bad as the 17 points per game for the series may look, it pales in comparison to how pathetic he was in the fourth quarter, scoring just 18 points total in the 6 fourth quarters of the series. But even that doesn't seem so bad when you dig deeper into his clutch time play throughout this series, meaning in the final 5 minutes of games within 5 points or less. In these such situations, LeBron scored exactly 0 points.
0.0.
After finally breaking through the championship glass ceiling the next 2 seasons with his unbeatable super teams, 2 years later, LeBron would be up to his old tricks again, back in the NBA Finals and getting humiliated, blown off of the court by the San Antonio Spurs in 5 games, signaling the end of LeBron's tenure in Miami, only 5 championships short of his prediction. It was off to bigger and better things, back in Cleveland with a shiny new super team to try to ring stack with. Everything was going according to form as the self-proclaimed king hit the game-winning, series-clinching shot in Game 7 against the Warriors.
No, they didn't.
Well, no, he didn't. That was Kyrie Irving. But LeBron did finally get his 3rd ring, and it was all for Cleveland.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Well, no, it wasn't.
That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
But it seemed like the championship window was wide open for LeBron with his latest super team until Kevin Durant and Steph Curry slammed it shut using the same playbook the NBA destroying King scripted years earlier. And thus, it was time to find something else. And he found it in LA. Well, actually, it was more like in Orlando, where he managed to win the flukiest ring in NBA history in the Disney bubble, behind Anthony Davis, who led the NBA playoffs that year in points scored and played masterful defense. And it looked like in year 20, at the age of 38, it was all coming together one final time, one more magical garbage championship for the King, as they went all the way from out of the playoffs with less than 2 weeks remaining in the regular season to steamrolling their way into the Western Conference Finals behind Anthony Davis and a myriad of big contributions from a number of Lakers role players. The Lakers had everything they could possibly ask for in this series, with Anthony Davis playing elite, league-best type defense while averaging 27 points and 14 rebounds per game. Austin Reeves contributing 21 points per game on 55% shooting, and Rui Hachimura coming off the bench to add great defense of his own, along with 15 points per game on 53% shooting. The Lakers were squarely within every game in this series, as all 4 games were within 1 possession late in the fourth quarter, with LeBron, ball in hand, at multiple moments throughout the series, clanking the game-tying 3 with 45 seconds left in Game 1, blowing this layup that would have made it a 2-point game with 30 seconds left in Game 2, and this hilarious travel that of course went uncalled, followed by an epic brick that didn't even touch the rim that could have tied Game 4 with just under 30 seconds left in the game. But with only 4 seconds left and the Lakers down by 2, LeBron got one more opportunity to extend the game and the series. He would not disappoint.
James on the drive, goes inside, stop, shot block, gets it back. It's over. It's over.
Overall for the series, LeBron shot 7 of 23 for just 30% in the fourth quarters, where every quarter was close. And the overall net margin of differential was only 24 points for the Nuggets. If only the Lakers had a viable option in clutch time. With the future all of a sudden uncertain, it remains to be seen if this is truly the last moment we will see of LeBron on an NBA court, or if possibly he will recruit another Hall of Famer or two to amass yet another super team this offseason. But if this was truly the last time we see LeBron, he went out doing what he does best and delighting us all one final time.